character of a nation is often measured by how much each person cares for a fellow citizen. If you see someone in distress, reaching out for help, do you step out of your comfort zone or would you do nothing? That's the question we try and answer in this series. What's your choice? How much do we, the people of India, really care? Hello and welcome to this, for me, a very, very special show. A show which is, frankly, all about our daily lives, in which we test ourselves to see the metal that we are really made of. We constantly, as Indians, complain about the government not doing enough for this or not doing enough for that. While that is true, our politicians can certainly do more. But do we ask ourselves whether we are doing enough to change things in our country? When we see for ourselves an injustice happening around us, like a child being used as labor or a VIP throwing his weight around, do we turn away and look the other way and say, this is none of my business really? Do we actually step in and do something? Do we intervene? Do we fight for what is right, for justice? Do something or do nothing? What's your choice? To test ourselves, we borrow from an old art form. It's called hidden theatre or invisible theatre. We select a public space and act out a scene of injustice with specialized actors. Nobody else knows that these are our actors and this is just a performance. We have cameras everywhere, hidden, constantly recording the reactions of the public who don't know that there's an act of injustice. It's an act that's going on. We wait and watch. Now, our media in India tends to make us believe that Indians, we don't intervene. We couldn't care less. We are only self-centered. We are apathetic. Is that true, or is that mere media sensationalism? We've done now over 50 social experiments, and we will do many, many, many more. And we found that we, the people of India, are not at all apathetic. We are perhaps more vocal against injustice than in many, many other parts of the world. It's indeed heartwarming. And right here today, we have many examples amongst us of people who in our social experiments stepped up, stepped in, and spoke against social injustice. But most important, we are lucky to be joined by one of my personal heroes in life, a man who has fought against injustice, child labor, and mainly on child labor. Please welcome Kailash Satyarthi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, one of the things in your speech, Nobel Prize speech you mentioned, you said, break the silence. That's what we have to do. What did you mean by that?
Most of the wrongs around us go on because people keep silence. If the people break the silence, that is the beginning of going towards rights.
Right.
We have to choose that we are born to make this world a little bit better. And we must know that if we are not doing right, then we are on the side of wrongs. Sometimes people think that we are doing nothing, we are not doing anything wrong, but if they don't do right, and if they don't break the silence, then they are the party to wrong.
Exactly.
So break the silence.
Break the silence. That's just beautiful. Yeah. You also made a beautiful analogy in your Nobel Prize speech, which apparently you did impromptu at the spur of the moment. Let's have a look at what you said in your Nobel Prize speech. This example you gave.
Thank you.
Let's hear it.
I was telling you the story of my child, what I remember from my childhood. A heavy fire broken out in jungle, in forest. Everybody was running away, including lion, the king of forest. Suddenly he saw a bird rushing straight to the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" Bird said, "I am going to extinguish the fire." Lion laughed and said, "How can you do it? Keeping just one drop of water in your beak?" But the bird was adamant. She said, "I am doing my bit."
That's the key there, that's the beauty of it. And I think all these people here, if I can ask you, we have both actors and interveners. If the interveners could just stand up a second, all the birds who did their bit. God bless you all, God bless you. And if the villains of the piece, the actors could stand, and we will come to you and ask you what it was like to be on the wrong side of the fence and whether you, of course, are the worst of all of them.
No, but they acted so well.
Please. So we did many of these social experiments, and one of the ones that had the most reaction was child labor. So it's an area which is so common in India, and you have been fighting for it. You introduced a global kind of law about it, but India has not made that a law yet.
It's an irony that we claim to be one of the fastest growing economies. Of course, we are the largest democracy in the world. We are proud of our old age and heritage and culture and whatnot. But unfortunately, we have millions of children who are trapped into bonded labor, and many of them are slavery, many of them are child laborers, many of them are child prostitutes, and so on. And years ago, I realized that it is not just India. We have this worldwide problem in Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, but also in Southeast Asia, in Africa, in Latin America. Hundreds of millions of children are sold and bought like animals or trapped into modern-day slavery. So I proposed to the international community, and of course many organizations joined hands in it and joined voices with me. I will tell that that was also breaking the silence. I broke the silence against it. I said, though I'm a very ordinary person, but I can still keep a small drop of water in my beak and try to extinguish the fire. But it worked somehow. Yes. Millions of people joined, and finally, in 1998, we organized a physical march across 103 countries, the Global March Against Child Labor, and that has resulted in an international treaty, the ILO Convention on Worst Forms of Child Labor, that has been ratified by 179 countries by now.
179 countries.
And that is the fastest ever ratified convention in the history of United Nations. But it's an irony or a shame that India has not yet ratified it.
So an Indian introduces it, the world ratifies it, ratifying make it into a law, but India has not banned child labor by law.
There was an old law. The Indian law is there, but it does not match with the international treaties and laws.
Yes.
And India, unfortunately, is sitting in the club of Eritrea, Cuba. In some other laws, we sit in the club of Somalia and Sudan.
Just 3-4 countries have not.
Only a few countries who have not ratified 2 ILO conventions. One is this on worst forms of child labor, another one is the minimum age. Look at Sri Lanka, look at Nepal, look at Bangladesh. They are smaller countries. There's no comparison, but they have all ratified in their parliaments many years ago. And 15, 16 years have passed, but India did not.
Okay, let's just look at one of the social experiments we did on child labor and see whether anybody around in that public space, which was a restaurant, did they react or let it happen? Let's have a look.
हमारे ज़माने में we didn't bring the servants with us also, no?
मेरी friend है.
अरे वो तेरी friend कैसे हो सकती है? ये क्या सिखा रहे हो? What is this you're teaching? This is a friend.
How can this girl be kept as a servant?
Yes, it's against law.
You can't be employed.
You are not an educated class. I'm sorry, sir. You are like my parents, but you are just disgusting. The way you are talking to a child, this is just disgusting. And I'm sorry, in a public place, you cannot treat a kid like that.
She's doing a job.
She is doing a job. You have kept on her a job. Not she is willingly doing that thing.
I mean, I'm glad that at least you feel in the right way. It is really...
She's a child who's working. She is working. She's working. She's
That's
a
not
child
the
who's
right.
working.
We are all working. We are all working.
She's getting food. She's working.
I agree with you. आप उसको खाना दे रहे हैं, बहुत एहसान कर रहे हैं उस पे sir. I agree.
Who will feed this child?
नहीं मगर भगवान.
I will take the child. I'll feed her.
She's
asking. Her daughter is wanting to play with the child.
How can she? They are two different class. How can they?
Isn't she a baby?
How can they? They're different
What do you
class.
mean by servant? Are you not working for any service? Are you a very big entrepreneur or what?
We all work for money.
You work now. You work for money.
We all work.
आपको कोई बोले कि आप नौकर हैं, आप नौकर हैं, आप साथ में मत बैठो.
You will feed this child otherwise.
You're confused because she's a child, so you're getting all confused.
No. This is not the matter of child. This is not the matter of child. This is the matter of servant and a human. And you are doing what you are doing is against
She's all.
human.
She's safe.
it's because
She's
she's
safe in the
child.
house and
You're
just with us.
लोग
She's
आप
getting
जैसे
food
लोग
to eat.
getting
आप
totally
जैसे लोग
Lakshmi
पढ़े लिखे होने की लायक नहीं.
So, Kailash Satyarthi, that people say Indians don't react. You saw how angry everybody got, and everybody got together to, you know, almost beat up this gentleman who's trying to hide his face. You should hide your face. The actor. So, but you saw this is Seema here. Seema, why don't you just stand up? And
Very good. I salute you. I congratulate you. I salute you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
so, do you do this all the time?
More or less, I cannot see anybody being treated like this. Even I can feel the pain for animals. The human beings are much more raised for that. I don't think anybody has the right to demean anybody. And being a child, aap naukri pe, you are keeping them as a servant. The kid doesn't know that they are doing a job. It's just that the parents are pushing them ki, yes, you have to work. You have to earn bread for us. The kids are not aware. They are just doing what their parents are telling. So it's somewhere us parents need to be understanding that this is wrong. We should not, even though I have two daughters, I don't even go and ask, ki, please pani la do. I feel it's not their work. Their duty is to study right now and later on to serve the nation. But as a child, they are not supposed to do these kind of work. I'm so sorry.
Right, quite
Very beautifully, quite right. Very beautifully
you,
said.
thank you.
I could recall 35 years ago when I started intervening like that, nobody was there to listen to me.
Really?
Today, the whole country is listening to you. I'm so happy and I
God.
personally feel so proud. Those days, everybody is sad. Even my own family members and friends said, what are you talking about? These are poor children, let them work. Nothing is special in it. Nothing is uncommon in it. But I said, no, this is wrong. That was, I think you were 35 years old, and when you were born or even before that, I started raising this. I'm so happy that we have young people and elderly people jointly raising this voice.
Yes, I would definitely say they were also the support system sitting over there. And when they started having a word, raising the voice, I just couldn't sat there. I was not even able to have the food kept over there. I was feeling so very bad. I think she is the daughter-in-law sitting over there. And I went to her. And rather than having a word with the elderly men, I was trying to make her understand, आप अच्छा काम कर रही हैं, आप अपने आप को मत बदलिएगा. And I was like, he was acting as an elderly person, so I didn't wanted to abuse him. I was trying to give her respect. When he started saying, I was like, please, I don't want to talk to you, please.
No, I think he got the message, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But Kailash Satyarthi, this is an issue that Seema just raised, that some children have to earn a living for their parents. So how do you tackle that? Is it just reinforcing a cycle of poverty, that you make your child work, then they don't get educated and therefore they'll never earn enough to get out of poverty? How do you handle the income issue?
Well, I always say that there is a vicious circle or a kind of triangular relationship between poverty, child labor and illiteracy. They form a kind of chicken and egg relationship. Right. They are interdependent on each other. In the world today, we have 168 million, karib 17 crore. Children are in full-time jobs. On the other hand, we have 200 million, 20 crore adults jobless. And there are many studies, including one study has been done in India, which proves that these child laborers are none but the children of those parents who are not able to find jobs for more than 100 days a year. if India has so many child laborers on one hand and so many adults unemployed on the other hand, why not the jobs could be given to those able-bodied adult people? So that forms a vicious circle. We have to break the cycle of poverty by way of raising the voice, as you did, against child labor. And now we are living in the age of knowledge economy. Rather, sometimes it has gone even beyond that. It has become a kind of knowledge capitalism, knowledge apartheid, but definitely knowledge.
Big divide.
The big divide in knowledge,
right.
in this whole digital divide and all those things. So it is a big divide. So in that case, you cannot think of anything like social justice, gender justice, getting rid of poverty of yourself and of your society and country without quality education, without the most sophisticated knowledge and information.
So that's the key point.
That's the key
break
point.
out of
And
poverty.
child labor, if you allow child labor to continue, means you are creating the biggest obstacle in education. So education, child labor and poverty are interconnected issues.
Yeah.
And we have to break this cycle.
Elizabeth, you also intervened. One of the aims of this whole series of shows, What's Your Choice, is to spread awareness. So have people watched what you did? Have they learned from it? What are the reactions you've had after the show was aired?
I think when I met this person at the India International Center, an attendant who was, attending to us, who came up and said, "Ma'am, it's such a pleasure to serve people like you." Huh? I mean, I think it was a really a very heartwarming moment, because it was not only that he recognizes somebody whom he has seen at the center, it is also that the message has percolated to him, the right message, that these are the kind of people I'm so proud to be associated with.
And this is general or just one person, or others have also come up?
No, there was only this one person.
You were mentioning at your college.
Yes, of course, that is when your face is identified. People who know you, students whom you have not taught, the security guard who perhaps just, puts up his hand to say hello. They come out of their way to acknowledge that they have seen you. And coming to that point, I should also say that I didn't know that the viewership of NDTV was so wonderful.
Not that,
I mean,
not that. I just feel
that's not seen this.
But the point is, they had seen you before, and now they associate you and they understand the message.
Yes, they've seen this program. They have noted down the manner in which you responded. They've come out of their way to
tell you that you've done something right.
Yes,
that is heartening. That it has spreading awareness that you must get up and intervene. One other issue which we did tackle, we've tackled about 4 or 5 issues so far, is gender discrimination in India, where parents favor their sons over their daughters. So we enacted 1 or 2 social experiments on that. Let's just see what happened there. These are just small excerpts. Very
good. A young girl is listening and is clearly upset. The young girl speaks to her mother. Both are shocked.
ऐसे कोई फांसी लगा दी तुझे? क्या मार दिया?
आंटी, आप बेटी है? आप बेटियों से ऐसे बिहेव करते हो?
बेटी हो जाएगा? बेटी जो बेटा हो जाएगी?
एक ही बात होती है, बेटा और बेटी।
एक ही बात कैसे रहेगी?
आप उसको खाना खिला रहे हो, भाई का बच्चा है, वो तू खा ले।
तो आप हमेशा से होता है।
आप क्या बात कर दी? आपने कौन से जमाने में रह रहे हो आप? मैं यहाँ से चली गई थी, मैं इसीलिए वापस आई आपको ये बोलने के लिए कि ये क्या होता है, भाई का खाना बच्चा है, क्या खा रही हो? आपने इसको मारा तो आपने इसको बोला कि गला उसको फांसी दो, बेटी नहीं खा रही, वो नहीं दिख रहा।
तो खा लेगी ना, ये बचेगा तो खा लेगी।
बेटी को देना चाहिए। बिल्कुल अगरदी औरत के नाम पे आप तो बहुत ज्यादा कलंक हो आप औरत।
अच्छा, धीरे धीरे
शर्म आनी चाहिए।
सुनिए, ऐसे कोई कुत्ते को भी नहीं पालता जैसे आप अपनी बेटी को पाल रहे हैं।
हम पर्दे में रहते हैं, पर्दे में रहने के बाद भी लड़कियां एक से एक काम कर रही है। नेट पे देखो, तुम तो बिल्कुल ही हद कर रही हो। कौन से जमाने में जी रही हो आप?
अपनी बेटी का कुछ दिखा के आपका बेटा कभी नहीं बन सकता। बहन की दुआएं ने तो इसको मना थोड़ी कर रही हो खाने के लिए। अब ये खा नहीं रहा, यही खाएगी। अब कौन खाएगी? बचा हुआ तो हम कुत्ते को डाल देते हैं।
So Kailash Satyarthi, we actually have Atul here, who was the villain of the piece, but she also runs a NGO which is for whistleblowers. It's a good idea that if you see any injustice, blow a whistle, keep blowing. So in fact, there was a scene where it's outside a house, there was some domestic violence, so all the women got and blew their whistles till the thing stopped. So it's an idea to raise attention and get some work done and shame, the name and shame kind of thing.
Again, this is breaking the silence.
Yes.
When you blow the whistle,
right,
then you break the silence. and the people will listen to you. And I'm sure that the people must be listening to your whistle.
इसमें क्या कि हम लोग पहले हमारी केयरिंग कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं जो सूचना देते हैं कि भाई इस तरह का एक महिला के साथ हो रहा है, इस तरह की स्थिति हो रही है, मारपीट हो रही है या उससे घर के कामकाज के नाम पे, उसको दहेज के नाम पे, कई चीज़ों पे हो रहा है। तो हम लोग पहले कोशिश करते हैं कि उनके साथ बातचीत की जाए, लेकिन एज़ यूजुअल हमें उसके लिए बहुत अपमान सहना पड़ता है कि जाइए आप हमारे घर में दखल दीजिए। तो तब हम तय कर लेते हैं कि हमको विसल बजाना है, लगातार सीटी बजानी है और तब तक बजानी है जब तक कि वो 2 दिन लग जाए, 4 दिन लग जाए। और इवन ऐसा भी हो जाता है कई बार कि जैसे ये फैमिली है कि पुलिस बुला लिए, इन्होंने 100 नंबर पे फ़ोन कर दिया कि रोज़ रोज़ हमारे घर के बाहर ये लोग सीटी बजा रहे हैं। तो हमने कहा भी कोई गुनाह नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम सीटी बजा रहे हैं और इससे अगर कुछ आपके कानून में कोई दिक्कत आ रही है तो हमको बंद कर दीजिए। लेकिन दिक्कत ये है कि इस महिला के साथ मारपीट हो रही है लगातार और पिछले 13-14 साल इसकी शादी को हो गए, 2 बच्चे भी हो गए और फिर भी लगातार ये पिट रही है अगर, तो हम तो बजाएंगे। और अच्छी स्थिति ये है कि कई मौके ऐसे आए हैं हमें कि जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा ख़राब, मतलब बहुत ख़राब स्थितियाँ हो गई थी, सुनने में समझने में जो चीज़ें इतना गंदा लग रहा था, तो वो लोग आए सामने और जो सामने नहीं कह रहे थे पड़ोसी, अब वो भी फ़ोन करते हैं, फेसबुक पे कनेक्ट करते हैं हमसे कि ये इस तरह का हो रहा है। आप देखिए हमारा नाम नहीं आना चाहिए ये है, लेकिन मैं उसको भी चुप्पी तोड़ने का एक साधन ही मान रही हूँ कि भले ही वो सामने नहीं आ रहे हैं, पड़ोसी होने के नाते पड़ोसी धर्म भी निभा रहे हैं, लेकिन कम से कम एक की जान तो बचा रहे हैं।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। क्योंकि अभी ऐसा लग रहा है कि सालों से लड़कों ने लड़कियों को छेड़ने के लिए सीटी का सहारा ले रखा था। सीटी बजाई कॉलेज के सामने।
एग्जैक्ट।
कभी कभी मैं भी बजाता था, लेकिन मेरे कॉलेज में कोई लड़कियां नहीं पढ़ती थी, वैसे ही बजाने का शौक था। लेकिन खैर, लेकिन आप जो महिलाएं सीटी बजा रही हैं, उस पुरानी परंपरा को भी चुनौती दे रही हैं जहां पर गलत काम के लिए सीटी का इस्तेमाल होता था। आज आप अपनी आवाज़ उठाने के लिए सीटी का इस्तेमाल कर रही हो, इससे जरूर समाज की चुप्पी टूटेगी।
और सर इसमें एक रिजल्ट ये भी हुआ है कि अभी कहीं सीटी बजती है तो दूर तक आवाज़ जाती है, तो लोग कहते हैं अच्छा उसके घर भी सीटी बज गई।
बल्कि
और यहाँ पे हम एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को भी नहीं छोड़ रहे हैं।
आपको तो चाहिए कि आप तो लाखों लड़कियों को सीटी
दे रहे हैं, हम लोग ने लगभग
3000 के करीब। दिल्ली में भी जो बस में चल रही हैं लड़कियां, सीटी लेके चलें। और भी क्योंकि बसों में तो बहुत ज्यादा छेड़खानी और गड़बड़ हो रही है, सीटी बजाएं और एकदम सीटी बजाएंगे तो लोग समझने लगेंगे कि कुछ हो रहा है गड़बड़ यहाँ पर। क्योंकि बहुत कई बार लड़कियां बोल नहीं पाती हैं मुंह से, शर्म के मारे, और आसपास लोग धक्का मुक्की करके और छेड़खानी करते हैं, शर्म के मारे, डर के मारे बोलती नहीं है। लेकिन उनको थोड़ा सा हिम्मत करके और सीटी मुंह में लेके बजानी चाहिए, ताकि आप जैसे लोग उठाएंगे आवाज और बताएंगे उस आदमी को या उन लोगों को जो लड़कियों के साथ इस तरह कर रहे हैं, एक मैसेज जाएगा स्ट्रांगली।
Right, it's a very good idea. This is one way to take an individual action and make it a social action.
Absolutely, that is possible because once,
which is what you did we've done in your whole life. Your individual actions initially, where you broke the silence, became a social action.
कॉलेज की लड़कियां हमारे साथ जुड़ रही हैं, प्रिया है, तो इस तरह की लड़कियां MSW की स्टूडेंट है।
Wonderful.
बहुत सारे बच्चे इसने अपने साथ जुड़े।
सीटी भी हमने इसलिए लिया क्योंकि मोबाइल नहीं होते हर लड़की पे या घर पे, तो इसका इजीली बस में अगर मोबाइल करके फ़ोन करके किसी को बुला सकती हैं, बट वो तभी नहीं आएगा। सीटी बजा के तुरंत एकदम से सर्टेन लोग आ जाएंगे निकल के कि हाँ सीटी बजी है।
How do you do it?
हाँ, दैट्स
बहुत बढ़िया।
We also did an experiment in a posh area in Delhi to see if this gender discrimination, son over daughter, is favored. And this is the reaction. This is what happened in Delhi.
I also want.
Shut up. What I also? And your brother is ordering. Why do you want to order also?
और जो भैया का खाना बचेगा ना वो आप खा लेना.
In other parts, when the girl is born, they call it mistake.
वो गलत कर रहे हैं, आप उनका साथ दे रहे हैं.
असल में मेरे भी पास भी बेटी है ना, मेरे थोड़ा सा लगता है.
We don't behave like this. Really, man.
And if you behave like this, don't do it.
We have to collect. The boy will bring money to the house. She is taking money from the house. Madam, it is happening today. You are collecting. You must be collecting money for the daughter.
You are a sad person, you know. You should actually.
You are not collecting.
We are not sorry for you.
No, but you are not collecting money for the daughter.
आपने डाउरी ली थी.
So
आपने जब
pay
शादी
for-
की थी आपने डाउरी ली थी.
We took-
जब ली थी तो देनी पड़ेगी.
But then why?
जब ली थी तो देनी पड़ेगी.
Very good.
So we have Sulba here and both of you, yes.
Wonderful.
Tell me, were you about to slap him?
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't intervened,
He'd had it.
he had.
What, I mean, is this a normal thing that you find all your friends do intervene, you should intervene?
We should. We are educated people. We should intervene. And we have never seen such things happening in day-to-day lives. I don't know.
Right.
Such things happen, or they when we saw, he was just abusing his daughter like anything. So no one could take it.
But you were enjoying a nice lunch. Why did you disturb it? You could have carried on eating.
You know, resist the.
You got angry.
Yeah. मतलब हम खाना तो दूर हम खाना हमने ऑर्डर भी नहीं कर पाए जब हमने इनकी बात सुनी.
So it does get under your skin, and you shouldn't just sit back, and you must get out and do something.
Yeah, of course, this is a big fight against the mindset which has been there for ages and ages and centuries, and we have to challenge it. So the beginning of change comes from the beginning of challenge. If you start challenging something, that is great, and you are challenging it. That's a wonderful thing which you do. And I would also like to appeal to the religious leaders, the faith leaders, who have a lot of outreach, and the people, their devotees, believe in them, what they say. If they keep on saying something that men and women are equal in our religions, in our faiths, and so on, the women have to be respected, women have to be given equal rights. They don't talk of rights. They may say, जहाँ नारी की पूजा होती है वहाँ भगवान रहता है, तो नारी की पूजा भी करो और उसके बाद उसे पैर की जूती भी समझो. ये जो all this kind of hypocrisy has to be challenged, and not only the politicians, social leaders, but also the religious leaders should stand by women and raise the voices in favor of women and for the protection of women, which they hardly do.
So this is a call to religious leaders to come out and talk about equality of men and women under the eyes of God, and that can have a big impact.
That can have a much bigger impact than anyone else. The police can't do it, the laws can't do it.
Right.
But if all these religious leaders who have hundreds, thousands, millions of devotees and bhakt, these bhakts are going to listen to them much more carefully than anyone else.
Very true, very true. And it's true that in our religion, men and women are equal.
In all religions, in all religions.
Yes.
Yeah, in all religions.
Yes.
That is not just Hinduism
it's just
or Christianity.
misused by men in real life.
That is the patriarchal mindset.
Yes, yes.
So that's why they are using these kind of things and making the wrong interpretations of some of those things from the religions.
So that's a good call. I think everyone who has a guru or any access to somebody who can influence people, tell them, please spread the message of equality.
So even when we go to a guru, or when we go to a temple or a mosque or everywhere, we should try to sensitize that priest that, look, what are you doing for women?
Right.
So every woman...
Speak out.
Speak out.
Right.
Let him speak out. And ask him again and again and again. If he does not do it, then you can say goodbye. I'm not going to come to this holy place, or we are not going to listen to you. Guruji, Guruji, that's over. Dhanyavad, Guruji.
That's a good point, actually. We've just got a couple more. This is about the treatment of elderly people. Now, in the West, elderly people are treated quite badly. In India, they're respected. But unfortunately, latest research shows that is kind of disappearing. The percentage of elderly people who complain about harassment, about being teased by their own members of their family, by public, is doubled in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's becoming a trend that's worrying. So we just enacted a scene in my favorite, my hometown, Kolkata. Let's see what happened there.
বয়স হয়ে গেছে দাদু, এই বয়সে যদি কাজ করো, হ্যাঁ? ঠিক বয়সে কাজ করলে পরে এই বয়সে আর কাজ করতে হতো না।
You are educated. You consider yourself educated. And this is how you deliver.
ওনার জায়গায় আপনাকে 1 মিনিট একটু প্লেস করুন।
Just think of it. Give it a thought.
Excuse me. You think yourself to be too smart?
Give it a thought. Please, sir.
What are you?
আপনার তো বেসিক শিক্ষাই নেই আপনার
না না এটা তো বললে পরে হবে না you can't object anything you did utter these things you went on uttering continuously
আমরা অনেকক্ষণ ধরে শুনছি we are human beings you are asking me কেন আপনি সরি বলবেন and he is laughing একটা টেনে চাটি মার দিচ্ছে করে
it was a totally it was an act
okay now I'll give you
Here's the couple who did Calcutta proud. You felt you had to do something. You could have just walked off with your shopping.
Even now, tears are just, coming to my eyes. I mean, I couldn't take it anymore. It was too harsh. Now, over there in the mall, I'm a frequent visitor there. I was watching it for a long time. And, I came to a point I couldn't take it and I reacted. But a few people asked me this question that had it been on a road, would you have reacted the same way? So what I feel, that time when I reacted inside the mall, I did not think of the consequence.
Right.
I just reacted. It came from within.
So it would have been anywhere, road or anything.
So why not on the road? It could have been my father being harassed.
Right.
So
very emotional.
There's
two issues here. One is, and we always give this health warning in every one of our shows, that be careful because the person, I mean not in this instance, but say in a VIP, they could be violent, they could carry a gun. So ideally go with a group, call the police, but don't just do what she did, go wild. How do you have a health warning? You do have to be a little careful also, right?
Well, in such situation, there is always some challenge, there is always some risk involved. I have lost two of my colleagues, one was shot dead and one was beaten to death over the time. Almost all my senior colleagues have been beaten up by the slave masters, child labor masters, employers in different places. My left leg is broken, my right shoulder is broken, my backbone is broken, my head is broken.
But not your backbone is not broken. Not your spine.
Not the spine. Nobody can break. I always believe that they can kill my body, but they cannot kill my soul. They cannot kill my spirit. Nobody can kill my spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's impossible. Right. So that's why courage is very important in it. I always say that apathy is the biggest enemy, especially in case of children. We live in a world which is connected with high-speed internet, which is connected with your Facebook or with your WhatsApp or whatnot, all these Twitter and things like that. But what is missing is human connect, the connect through compassion.
Right.
And all these heroes and heroines who are sitting here, they have the compassion. And what I always call for, that let us transform that compassion into social movement. The compassion should not remain your own personal compassion. It has to come out. It has to be transformative compassion. And let us build a worldwide movement, a global movement out of compassion. And that's why when I work for children, I always say, and I'll always believe deeply, that I am trying to globalize compassion.
Compassion. That's a beautiful
And that is the most important thing,
That's beautiful. I think that's something that we have. But as you're right, everybody here has the compassion. Now to make it a more of a social movement. We also have two more little short skits on elderly abuse, just here outside in Noida.
दद्दू बात करें? चल आया मजे लेते हैं और क्या करें टाइम पास है। हेलो दद्दू जी। अरे दद्दू मूवी देखने आए हैं? ना आजकल पास कम हो गए ना घूमने आते हैं। अरे बताओ यार मूवी देखने आए हो क्या? आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ। छेड़ बुड्ढे आदमी। अरे दद्दू कहाँ छेड़ रहा हूँ यार बात कर रहा हूँ। बात कर रहे हैं यार। हाँ वो दादी जी आप इधर छोड़ो आप इधर आओ हमारे साथ। ये सिर्फ इतने बाल ब्राउन किए हैं बाकी कलर नहीं किए। बाकी तो कलर कर लेते यार। इसमें क्या है? अरे दिखा अरे दद्दू क्या है अरे बात कर रहे हैं यार बात कर रहे हैं यार। ओए भैया एक्टर्स है यार रुक जा सर तमीज नहीं है अरे चल अरे
So sometimes this is our big worry. We got our first slap after about 45 social experiments. We got our first slap, and where's the young actor? Both of here's the slapper and the
slapper. Yeah.
But just to ask you, the actor first, you didn't mind getting slapped, or?
Not at all. I was really very happy. When I reached home, I updated a status on FB. I wrote over there, feeling very happy, even after getting a slap, because it was for a good cause. I was feeling really honored.
आप बताइए that you were so angry you just lost control.
Actually, जब मैंने देखा कि ये दो लोग जो थे अंकल को परेशान कर रहे थे, कुछ देर देखते रहे. हमने सोचा पहले शायद साथ हैं, तो जब देखा कि नहीं साथ नहीं, परेशान ही कर रहे हैं एक्चुअल में, तो वहाँ तक पहुँचने में टेम्पर बहुत हाई हो गया. तो
You also tried to stop him. You might have got a.
मैंने तो रोकने की कोशिश की जी उसी समय, लेकिन वो इतने ज़्यादा टेम्पर में थे कि उन्होंने मेरी बात सुनना गवारा ही नहीं समझा. मेरे रोकते रोकते एक दो और जड़ दिए. लेकिन जो भी किया उन्होंने, जो सिचुएशन को उन्होंने समझा, उसके मुताबिक जो किया मुनासिब था. मैं तो कहूँगा कि हर एक को इसी तरह करना चाहिए.
बहुत बढ़िया.
That's another issue to raise with you, that sometimes you shouldn't get that violent. Should you do it peacefully and explain, or go with your emotion?
Yeah, actually raising the voice against silence, or standing by truth or justice or righteous things, it does not mean that one has to become violent. I never ever used or never ever thought of using a stick in my hand when I went to rescue the children. I have rescued thousands of children physically, and I saw it. I had faced the people were carrying guns and just wanted to shoot me. It happened dozens of times. But I never thought of reacting in any manner. I know that if they are having gun and I bring a stick or something, a rod, then they will have two guns and I can never compete with them. So one should not lose control while standing for justice and for right. There are many ways. And the people will listen to you when you are non-violent. If you
but
are
you understand
violent,
the emotion behind it?
I respect the emotion. Emotion is must. The passion is must. Without passion and emotion, you can't do anything. But then you have to control yourself and use that passion for better change. So don't use that kind of violent method. That would be my appeal to everyone. Whatever passionate or emotional you are in these situations, react it. मुझे लगा कि आवाज़ उठाइए जोर से, आप चिल्लाइए, पकड़िए, 10 लोग और आएंगे पकड़ने के लिए, rather than you just jump into and starting beating someone.
Right. One other issue I wanted to just generally ask you about these social situations which you would have faced a lot of times. You've gone into a situation, others have watched, they've maybe sympathized, but they've not intervened or helped you, or they haven't. So it's not that the people who are not intervening are bad people. They are dithering, they are wondering. What would you say to them, those who are in the supermarket or in the restaurant and watching and not intervening?
Well, now the things are changed. 15, 20 years ago, when I used to go to, say, a market, or sometimes the new shopping malls were open in Delhi and we used to go. Normally, I watched the families were having some domestic help. They are going inside, the domestic help, the girls, 1 or 2 girls were standing outside and carrying their small children, looking after the kids. And when they go out, these girls or boys, chotu, they are carrying big things on their head or in on their shoulder. So that was quite common. And I stopped it. I always raised voice. In the initial years, it was difficult to get some support. But slowly the people started listening. And then you can hardly see these kind of scenes in the supermarket, in the malls, because the people intervene. So what's happening in...
so India is intervening more now. You've seen it with your own eyes, right?
I tell India has tremendous potential, tremendous power. Let this power come out as these heroes and heroines are doing. The power is within us, and we believe in it. The only thing is that who will take the first step? Who is the first whistleblower? Who will make the first intervention? Why not me? If I wait that somebody else will come and stop us, why not me? We do it. I'll tell you that the people will support you. When you take the first step, I'm sure that you are not alone.
That is very important to remember. You did it, and then people followed with beyond your wildest imaginations. So if all of you do it, people will join you, actually. Now, one last thing we are going to go into, which has been touched a chord beyond our imagination with the average person in India. It's watching VIPs, this 3-letter word that is so outrageously misused in India, VIP. In fact, we have got viewers sending in, one sent in a thing from a wedding saying, most VVIP line. Most VVIP, like, is that God can only go there or what? Then there's one with a car with the back windows written, I'm the son of an ex-MLA. I'm the son of an ex-MLA, so treat me properly. You know, I mean, it's just outrageous, and viewers have been responding to this because the lal batti and the way they treat us, and pata nahi main kaun hu, and you know, I'll phone my dad. So we did a scene or two and see whether people reacted, and I can tell you the No VIP campaign has touched a chord right across India.
What's your name?
Shiva, sir. Shiva?
Yes, sir.
Lord Shiva.
Excuse me.
He's Lord of my...
We are Lord, okay? I want it quick.
It will take 15 to 20 minutes, sir.
Run, go. Run.
We've got responses from the other customers that if you can please calm down.
Calm down. We can own this place
Actually,
right
I can...
away. Now you can go, yeah.
You know you're crossing the line now. Sorry? You know you're crossing the line now.
You know who is he?
You know who we are? So that means you know some not important, right?
I mean, he doesn't even know who I am.
You're the Joker's eye. Do you know that?
Really?
Everybody's been laughing at you.
No.
You're the laughing stock, man. Get a life. Get a life, man.
You read your book, let us talk.
So shut up and don't talk to other people. You're not talking amongst yourselves, you're talking to others.
Come on.
Come on for what?
We are talking to Shiva. He's a friend too now.
Guys like you can make friends?
Yeah.
So pathetic.
Really?
You can make friends?
Really?
You can only be friends to each other, and trust me, you're not even friends to each other. You're
We're buddies.
The liability. The liabilities on the face of this earth.
Liabilities on the face of this earth. That was in Bombay. The Delhi politician VIP, that's the Bombay Bollywood VIP. And we have this young man here who couldn't take it anymore.
Something that I've seen for so long, even I would like to raise an issue which is a little separate from this. But back in Kashmir, there's this tuition lane called Parepura Sanat Nagar lane. And young students go there to study. But there's so many of these kids who come there to hustle. And they come with this back. And whether they see these guy walking with a girl and they get jealous, the next thing happens is, all right, this guy gets a call on the phone like, "Tu us ladki ke saath chal raha tha, tu janta hai main kaun hu." This has been happening so much in Kashmir back then. I'm sure a lot of guys listening to me in Kashmir would relate to this. And lately, the last time I was in Delhi, a rickshaw wala being told by a guy, "तूने मुझसे 10 रुपए ज़्यादा लिए, तू जानता है मैं कौन हूँ." It's not even just about talking to a certain it's anybody who would come to you and you would just to exploit a certain influence, a certain back with extreme impunity, and this goes unchallenged. And talking about the health hazard, I mean, I was the only guy who spoke up there, and these were these 4 guys in front of me. But then what that caused was it begot that these 6 guys sitting behind me also joined in.
Right.
So it didn't lead to a fist fight at all.
No,
so
but you were joined by others.
Yes,
that's the key.
yes.
I think
and
that's what
it's
Kailash
all about
Satyarthi
speaking up at the
was
end of the
saying,
day.
that you take a lead and others will join. We also had a story done by one of our reporters in Lucknow, Neha, and a beautiful scene where this lady in a railway station sitting on the floor with a suitcase all alone outside a VIP lounge which is completely empty. I mean, this is space for people or for VIPs? Here, there she is, sitting outside, and that's the VIP lounge, and she can't enter it. I mean, these 3 letters must be banned in India, surely.
Again, it's a mindset issue, but it has to be challenged. We see not only the VIP guest rooms or VIP retiring room at the station, VIP hospitals. Sometimes the VIP hospitals are empty, and the poor people are giving birth, poor women are giving birth outside those hospitals. we see the temples where the VIPs are treated in such a way
Right.
that they go inside with a different line, and the poor people have to go through the proper
Even in a
queue.
temple?
In the temple. Most of India's temples, the
Have a
biggest
VIP
temples,
line.
they are VIP. They are separate place for VIP to go. VIP pujas, VIP worships. You might be knowing. VIP ke liye alag puja hai. So you can find this VIP thing everywhere in the country, and the people have to raise voice against it. I was traveling, let me tell you.
Right.
A couple of days ago, I was traveling to Bangalore, and somebody spotted me that I was sitting in the aeroplane. He went out, and he told to some of his relatives who was waiting for him that Mr. Satyarthi, the Nobel Laureate, VIP is coming. So they thought, okay, so we can take a picture. So I was coming, and suddenly they saw there were dozens and dozens of police personals, and some officers were lining up. They thought that they have lined up to receive Kailash Satyarthi. And they passed. And I was just standing to get my bag on this belt. And when I was going out, I was told that there was a minister who was traveling, and there were hundreds of policemen outside, or friends or colleagues or fans or supporters chanting for him, not for me. I said, I'm an ordinary person. I'm an ordinary person. Why? So they thought that we should leave because it is not possible to see Kailash Satyarthi. So they were just about to leave.
My God,
because they thought that the police
were
and
for
the
you.
supporters with garlands and all those flowers, they are for me.
Which is the last thing you want in life.
Yeah, I know. I never do.
You were
I
no
never
question.
do. I came alone. Though
Yes.
Nobody was with me traveling.
Good for you.
So I said that I'm an ordinary person. So why did you think that this all crowd is for Kailash Satyarthi? I said, we thought that you are a Nobel laureate, so perhaps these people are for you. I said, no, I'm one of you. And then hundreds of people, not only one or two of this family, I think 100 people took selfie or photos or something like this. It's very common, selfie and other photos. And I was standing, I said that, what does it take? And another 10, 15 minutes to stand at the airport in
the
Bangalore.
VVIP
but
will
the
never
VVIP
stand.
people have gone,
They'll never stand.
so I was laughing. I am against
We
it.
have many of these VIP scenes that we've done, but let's take another one right now.
Excuse me, come here. Come here. How many times do I have to tell you how to serve people? You think I'm any one of them? लाल बत्ती में आया हूँ, लाल बत्ती में जाऊँगा. आपको पता है लोगों को कैसे treat करते हैं? You know how to treat VIPs. I've told you 1,000 times I can pour you straight away.
Sir, थोड़ा time तो लगता है.
Sir, I am.
This is not the way to treat
Sir,
people, all right?
Excuse me.
No, it's all right.
I
It doesn't matter who
you don't know who I am.
It doesn't matter who you are.
I'm entitled for a free meal.
I tell you what.
I own this
No,
mall.
Go ahead.
I
do
am a
whatever.
VIP. I have a Lal Batti. Have you heard of Lal Batti?
All right, this is you're pretty.
Just look at
you're
her.
the rudest person I've ever seen. All right. मैं लाल बत्ती वाला हूँ, आपकी सेवा कर रहा हूँ पूरी.
So you अब बोल रहे तू? Who you are? You're a bloody waiter. You know who you are? You are a bloody waiter. I'm a VIP. I own this. I'm so sorry, baby.
Sir, there's a TV
What you did to her?
What did he do to you?
There's a TV show going on. There are actors. Yes. They're trying to attack the VIP culture in Delhi, and so great that you stood up and I think you walked up. You left your food the first time around and walked all the way here. So they both are actors here, and he's in with us too. He's an actor here.
Good for you. Good. Very good. Did you have to think twice before taking on a VIP in this country? I mean, you've got guts.
I saw there was ruckus going on. I walked in first before this incident happened, and I just thought, if this guy's bit rude, he will like just, I'll just give him a glare and then go off, and he will quieten down. But when he didn't, then I had to step out and take him on, because one, he was being a VIP, which for a moment scared me, because a couple of weeks before, or maybe a month before, in the same mall, there was an incident where a person was not given a stag entry, and he went back and brought goons with him, and they knifed the bouncers. It happened the same. But then at that moment of time, you don't think about your own safety, but you just want to set things right. And that's what I wanted to do.
It's wonderful. So that is the slight worry, but as you said, do go with your heart, go with what you feel, speak up, and face a bit of danger also. Is that right?
I always say that act in what you believe. Otherwise, don't believe in anything. Right. Just die as animal. Right. If you're a human being, if you're a true Indian, believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, then stand up, raise your voice. break the silence. Act now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do the right things. Don't wait for somebody else will come to help you. God will come to help you, or whosoever will come to help you. You can help yourself.
Absolutely.
And face whatever like. But let me tell you that one single candle can wipe out the darkness of 1,000,000 years. And you should believe in yourself that you are one single candle.
True that.
Well, Kailash Satyarthi, it's been just so inspiring talking to you and just your whole life. We'd just like to end with a quote from one of your heroes, I'm sure, certainly one of mine. This is what Martin Luther King, very similar to what you said about break your silence, this is what he says. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter.
Absolutely.
Our life begins to end unless we break the silence.
Thank you. But
Thank
let
you
me
very
say one thing, that let us break silence for our children. Because they are all our children. They are all our children, not just 1 or 2 or 3 biological children. The children who are begging on the streets, children who are sold and bought in the market, the girls who are working as domestic help. Just say no to your friends and relatives if they are hiring a domestic help at your home. Break the silence. Say no to child labor, exploitation of children. Feel that they are all our children. They are all our children.
I think we'll just stand up and... No, you keep seated. We are standing up to you.
I am going to stand up for all the heroes and these wonderful people. Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure too. You did very good acting. You are wonderful. Great, great. Your voice is so strong. Yeah. Usko मारिए मत voice को. और तेज कीजिए. Thank you. Wonderful. Great. Yeah. You are the one who challenged VIP. That's not an easy job. बहुत अच्छा. कहाँ है तुम्हारी बजा के दिखाओ. Very good.